Hey everybody, how you doing? Jimmy Smith back again. This time about something tragic is the only word I can use. Horrifying, I guess, would be another one. For people who don't know, Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, was involved in a pro wrestling event in California. Taking on, it was a local event. A guy named Stuart Smith went by Syko Stu in the ring, slams him. The guy is out from the slam. Done. You see a video of it. I'll see if I can put a link in there. Slams him in the back of his head. The guy's out. Jackson mounts him. In the video I saw, he punches him defenseless 13 times. Whoever is recording it turns away to get it, and a wrestler's like, and points at another wrestler, and the wrestler's like in shock, goes back to the ring. You see a couple more punches. I don't know how many punches were happening while the camera was away, but 15 to 20 unanswered punches from Mount. The guy is now in critical condition, stable but critical, and who knows, might not make it, almost certainly will have permanent damage from this. And Rampage Jackson issued an apology statement about the incident itself. It's here. I will read it. I don't condone, and this was on X, I don't condone my son's actions at all. He suffered a concussion, his son Raja, suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago and had no business doing anything remotely close to physical contact. As a father, I'm deeply concerned with his health and the well-being of Mr. Smith, the person he assaulted. That being said, I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern is now that Mr. Smith will make a speedy recovery. I apologize on his behalf and to Kick, who was the who televised it, broadcast it, for the situation. A statement from NoxX, which is the promotion put it on. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers are with our brother, Mr. Stuart Smith, Syko Stu. He remains a priority, and we're monitoring his well-being. What was supposed to be a planned and agreed-upon wrestling spot turned into a selfish, irresponsible act of violence against Mr. Smith. This egregious act is reprehensible and never should have occurred. In the 17 years of operating NoxX Pro Wrestling Academy, there's never been anything as heinous take place such as this, and we apologize to our patrons and fans. It's the worst assault I've ever seen. Ever. In the ring, in a professional setting, on the street, I've never seen anything like this. Never. And it was that combination of a pro wrestling work and then an MMA fight against someone who's unconscious. There's not a real referee in there. There's not real support staff. It's not a real fight. So in an MMA fight, we've all seen late stoppages. A late stoppage is 1 to 3 punches. 3, the ref is really taking their time. But if you think about it, a bad stoppage is 1 or 2 punches. This was 15 to 20 unanswered punches. Why? The ref's not a real referee. He doesn't know what to do. He's totally confused. You can tell he initially thinks it's just a spot, and this can't be as bad as I'm seeing. And then he just beats this poor dude damn near to death. Finally, a bunch of wrestlers jump in and separate him. They actually covered the guy. Referee counts 1, 2, 3. But it's what I mean by the worst beatdown is it was an MMA event. It wasn't a fight in a pro wrestling ring where they're not equipped to deal with this. If you tried to do this in a pro wrestling, in a professional MMA fight, and you start beating on a guy and the referee's pulling you off, 10 people are going to jump in the ring and separate you because that's, it happens sometimes, unfortunately. But, they have the staff and the experience to deal with it. A pro wrestling promotion has no idea how to stop this kind of thing. They have no clue. They had no idea what was going on. So, having called, Monday Night Raw for 2 years and all this stuff, and having been in MMA for 20 god odd years, I was a pro wrestling fan as a kid, okay? I was a pro wrestling fan as a kid like every other kid in the 80s. Stopped watching when I was about 11 or 12 years old. And obviously came back and called Monday Night Raw for 2 years. I learned a lot about the business while working in the business. I kind of learned on the job because I didn't come up through professional wrestling. And what I learned mostly from Edge, Adam Copeland, who's now at AEW, we had a very interesting talk. And one of the things he said is the hardest thing to learn when you're learning how to work, right? How to do professional wrestling is fighting your instincts of self-preservation. When someone clotheslines you and you're sprinting at them full speed, your instinct is to protect yourself, right? You flinch or you put your hands up because it ruins the spot. You have to take the clothesline, take the claymore, take the whatever, the big boot from Bruiser Brody, and make it look good, like you're getting hit. Well, you can't do that if you're flinching or trying to protect yourself. It'll ruin the spot. So you have to open yourself up to getting hit without looking like you're opening yourself up to getting hit. So, I took a big shot, and you flop or you do whatever it is. You sell, all right? And he looked at me. We're in an airport somewhere. I mean, we're always in an airport. And he said, Jimmy, that's the hard part of pro wrestling is you take this shot and you can't do even a first-day fighter. You've never done kickboxing before. If I throw a punch at you, your natural instinct is to flinch and move and, don't let that person hit me. And you're trying to overcome those instincts. Right? Because you don't, and also like when you're getting thrown or slammed, because the things you'll do to protect yourself normally as a human being will actually hurt you because you're not letting the person do the slam properly because you're trying to block it or whatever. And he says you're kind of at the mercy of the person doing whatever it is. Because if you do the things that normally would help you, it'll screw up the throw, it'll screw up the spot, it won't work. So the trust that these guys put in one another is incredible. I don't have to trust you that much to do jiu-jitsu with you. If you're a spazzy white belt and I'm worried about you, okay, well, I'm a freaking black belt. I can protect myself. If I'm doing kickboxing and you really come after me, my defense is good enough that I can deal with it. All right? Hands up, chin, I can deal with it. I'll be okay. But I know how to protect myself from you. I'm not saying I don't open my arms and go, I trust you not to hit me. I wouldn't do that with a Rampage Jackson, who's not a seasoned professional wrestler. I wouldn't do that. And it's this idea that in MMA, you're at least allowed to protect yourself. In pro wrestling, you're not. It screws up the spot if you protect yourself. So that's what makes this, in a sense, more horrific, because this huge guy who was on Rampage Jackson's shoulder is literally going with the slam like he's supposed to make it look good, and he got taken right through the cams and knocked him out. He got landed right on the back of his head, which you're not supposed to do in pro wrestling. And rather than help him, he got the living piss beaten out of him by somebody who didn't know what they were doing and was apparently upset. Now, it's been said that outside the venue, there was something where he hit him with a can. Smith hit Jackson with a can or something. But that was supposed to be part of the work, right? Like, that's how they got heat, as they say in the business. I smacked him or hit him with something, and then we settle it in the ring, okay? In my experience with professional wrestlers, talking to them about their business and the way it goes, if you have a problem with somebody, you can't take it out in the ring. It's the last place you can take it out on them. Where you don't want to screw up the spot because you're mad at somebody. You may have had a problem with each other in the locker room. You do the match, then you settle it in the locker room. But what you don't do is screw up the match or hurt somebody because you're pissed at them. When they give receipts, right, is an expression they use in pro wrestling. When somebody hurts you and you hurt them back, we're talking about a hard chop or, maybe crank something a little bit. It's a fakey kind of choke and you hold it a little bit. You don't just smash a dude in the face with 13 unanswered punches. There are ways to give stuff back in the ring. As it was told to me by professional wrestlers, they said, someone's being stiff with you, you get stiff back and show them like, hey, dude, you want to play games or you want to have an actual match? But not like this. Not like that. This went above and beyond. Even a little get back from something they did earlier in the match, which I saw a million times. Somebody gives somebody, you give them a receipt back. Once again, we're talking about a hard chop or something that's like, ow, that stings. A slap that really hurts. It was, a couple times when I saw it get a little real in the ring, the match doesn't look good. That's another thing that people don't really get. Like, it must look cool when they really go after it. It doesn't lead to a good match because, they're not working with one another, trying to hurt one another, okay? And it doesn't look good. So I saw it a couple times. It doesn't make a good match. But when I saw this thing, I went, oh, man, this is way beyond anything I've ever seen. This wasn't a receipt gone wrong. This wasn't a match gone wrong. This was a felonious assault, period. And he's going to be in deep trouble. Deep trouble. I don't know how, and I'll include a link of it so you can see for yourself. I don't know how on earth a jury doesn't go, yeah, that's assault. That is way beyond. Oh, it was a work. I didn't know what was, and especially, as Rampage indicated in his statement apology, this guy's a professional. You know the difference. The fact that he has MMA experience doesn't excuse it. It makes it worse. If you're a civilian and you don't know anything, you've never been trained, you could go, I thought it was a work and I messed up. You know what ground and pound does. You train MMA. You know how to turn a punch over. You know when you're hurting somebody. You know when someone's out. You can't sit there and tell me you had no idea that this guy was completely out and I was hitting a helpless human being. If you've trained at all, you know the difference. So his experience, to me, makes it worse. Because he wasn't like caught up in the moment. I didn't know what was going on. A professional can't have those emotions. You know when someone's hurt and you stop. And this is going to be a serious fallout for Rampage's son. I know Rampage. We trained together at Team Punishment. He was my first guy I ever grappled with, by the way, at Team Punishment. My first formal grappling session ever when I was out of college was Rampage Jackson. And I knew him on the come up, and I saw his success and pride. And I know him. I haven't spoken to him in a long, long time. And I knew him once again 25 years ago. So I don't know his family. I met his kids when they were real young, I think. But I have no inside information about what's going on. But I know what my eyes showed me, which was an assault that will have unbelievable repercussions for Raja Jackson. This is going to bring charges, and they're going to be severe. They're going to be very severe. I'm just hoping that it doesn't end up being a murder charge, because this guy is in critical condition now. Hopefully he pulls through. I don't see you taking a beating like that and ever being the same. I don't. So all we can hope now is that Smith pulls through and it's not a whole lot worse for Jackson. Because I don't see how you see this. And please look at it yourself and let me know what you think, how this isn't assault and battery inside a wrestling ring. So tragic stuff all the way around. Please give me a comment. Once again, take a look at it. Make your own judgments. Let me know if I'm out of my mind. But I don't see this working out well for Jackson. And hopefully Smith pulls through. Later.